As a fan of Call of Duty Ghosts, I had planned on racking up at least 30 days of game time in Modern Warfare 2019, but just like everybody's first multiplayer Call of Duty, COD Ghost was the glory days for me. Meeting my first online friends, playing for hours and hours on end, all the laughs, the rage, the highlights and the blunders, reminiscing about it just brings back some of my fondest memories. So for me, the more and more I saw the footage of the 2v2 game alpha, the screenshots, I got those vibes all over again. For me, I was hoping that this was the ultimate Call of Duty title. Granted, we all know that COD Mobile holds the championship belt for that title. Motherfucker, you never lie.
Death by stereo. Death by stereo.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Stereo Rifles tuning in on the microphone as usual. If you're new to the channel, enjoyed the content, smack that like button down below for me and subscribe, man. That way I get up in y'all sub boxes and you get to see more content. Yes, this video, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, should have been the game of the decade. And, you know, from the outside looking in, maybe it should have been, man. Right off the bat, I made myself a little list. Let's look at the facts here, man. No loot boxes. 100% free-to-play DLC maps. No statistically stronger DLC weapons like we used to see in like Treyarch games, even in Infinite Warfare, I believe. But I believe at least back then they were pretty easy to get. But anyway, nonetheless, boots on the ground, classic characters, the best sound effects in COD history, for crying out loud. As much as I love to shit on Modern Warfare, and as my friends do as well, the sound effects are really awesome. I will give them that. I mean, there's things about the sound effects, the sound engine of this game, that there's things you didn't even realize. Like, I think the most fascinating part for me with their sound engine is the shooting a gun outside versus inside of a building. Like, I never even picked up on that in previous COD titles. You know what I mean? It just kind of, you just didn't think about it. But now, you know, you go inside of a building and you fire off the gun. There's like no echo. You could tell you're in a confined space versus shooting the gun outside. I just thought that was a really nice touch that they add to the game, despite it being, you know, all the nonsensical bullshit that it is. But anyway, I mean, look, you know, a classic, up-to-date, like I said, game engine, not just the audio, but the visuals as well, the way that characters move and interact and all that good stuff. Come on, classic score streaks, or I'm sorry, I put that up on the screen. I meant to say kill streaks. Of course, you know, the gunship, the chopper gunner, you know what I mean, the Pavlo, the Harrier, or, you know, at least in this game it's called the VTOL and the support helo. But, you know, all the good stuff. They didn't hold off or hold back on the streaks, except for the fucking Wheelson. What were they thinking with the Wheelson? The worst control system ever. It's like, couldn't they have taken a page out of any other automobile game like Forza or something on how to operate the damn vehicle? You know what I mean? Like, I swear that damn Wheelson, if you can master that Wheelson, good for you, man, because I can't drive that damn thing around. I remember trying to call it in, or I think I did call it in when I first bought the game, and that was the last time, and that was like 8 months ago. Fuck that shit. But other than that, the streaks were definitely solid, or are definitely solid. Obviously, it's not the end of the season yet. And, you know, all the things we despised were abolished, ultimately, if you think about it. I mean, you know, the pay-to-win weapons, the loot boxes, of course. You know, there was rumor to have it that they were going to have loot boxes in this game, and it definitely did not happen, obviously. They went to the supply stream, more of a Fortnite style. You know, they're finally getting into gear. They got more up-to-date with, you know, the gaming scene. Not to mention a plethora, excuse me, of classic Modern Warfare trilogy weapons. I mean, it was supposed to be the revival of the most coveted series that started the FPS revolution that is Modern Warfare. And then the beta dropped. Right off the bat, man, we gotta talk about the no minimap. Do you remember the multiplayer beta of this game having not a traditional minimap, it had no minimap? And, you know, just from the rumors of what was going on, that we heard that, you know, through the grapevine, that there was going to be a minimap in the beta. I'm like, bro, you know, I've been playing hardcore search and hardcore game modes since I started playing Call of Duty. I play mostly core now, but I have enough experience. I'm like, I mean, it's going to suck at first, but I'm like, I'll get used to it, right? It's not that big of a deal. You know, I originally anticipated, with my knowledge as a moderately seasoned COD player that with the time it usually takes to familiarize yourself with the typical map designs of this game, not having a minimap as a tool in the bag would be a minor inconvenience at best, you know, and we would all adapt and overcome this, you know, to this obstacle. But, you know, boy, we were wrong, man. We were definitely wrong. The maps being so goddamn porous, crazy. No dead silence, man. No dead silence. I'm amazed that dead silence has been in Call of Duty pretty much since it started. As far as I know, at least COD 4 and on, there is some form of dead silence or Ninja Pro. Also, smack the like button on the video for pro perks. We need to bring that back as well, man. But anyway, as a seasoned hardcore and search and destroy player, as you heard me say, as well as being an aggressive, more rushing type of player at heart, this immediately threw up a red flag. And I'm sure most of the COD community felt this in some way. Granted, you know, in previous titles, you know, it may not have been as important. Like, I go back and I play World War II, I play Black Ops 3. Half the time, I don't even run dead silence unless I'm playing search and destroy. That's it. Otherwise, when I'm playing TDM, kill, confirm, dom, whatever, I don't even run dead silence in them two games. Just as an example, Infinite Warfare is another one. Like, we didn't really, you never noticed we never talked about footsteps in them titles. You know why? Because they weren't a problem. Even without dead silence, it just wasn't an issue. The game was the game. They all had their own issues, of course, but footstep audio definitely was not one of them. I do, now that I'm reminiscing, I think World War II might have had a footstep problem in the beginning before the overhaul. Maybe I'll go back and look at like exclusive Aces videos or something on that. I can't, again, it's been so long, but I want to say they had like a little bit of a footstep problem too, but they wound up nerfing it. And obviously we were hoping that Modern Warfare, they would have did the same damn thing. And honestly, I gotta say, I think, honestly, at heart, I think Joe Seaside and his team wanted to tone it down. And after hearing about Michael Condrey, which is, if you don't know, a previous developer, lead developer at Sledgehammer Games, and he spilled the beans on the overhaul of COD World War II, saying that he wanted to have that overhaul done months before it actually happened. But there is so much red tape and nonsense to get through to Activision to convince them that it is worth doing and it's cost effective and it's good for the game, it's good for the multiplayer scene, etc., etc. You know, that's why it took so long. They wanted it done earlier. Like I said, I think Joe Seaside and them want to tone it down at least a little bit, and they just simply won't let them do it, man. 100%. But it is what it is. Map design. The most disorienting, illogical maps in the franchise's history, in my personal opinion. Yes, on top of not having the tool that is the traditional minimap that we all know, the biggest mind-numbing chore of this game was trying to learn how to traverse the maps whilst attempting to stay alive. Predicting when and where an enemy may be sucked out a lot of the fun right out of multiplayer, man. In most of the COD titles, you think maps tended to be more, you know, intuitive after a while. There's patterns and routes that players tend to take after having a significant amount of time played. And in the recent past, that was one of the rewards for putting in the time to excel at the game, you know what I mean? This year, yeah, that is definitely not the case. Instead, holding lines of sight, you know, leaning around objects while aiming down range seemed to be what Infinity Ward had in mind this whole time, man. Completely disregarding how, you know, a lot of the active community would think, man, after putting in all the years of sweating and experience. Just like, throw all that out the window, man. Just throw it out. Not this year, son. You're gonna just deal with it and you're gonna like it. Bullshit. I don't like it, but I'm dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Skill-based matchmaking. Wah, wah, wah. Anyways, man, the worst thing to ever happen in Call of Duty's pub scene, in my personal opinion. Not to mention not having a ranked lobby program being, you know, totally chalked this year. You know it. I know it. Super frustrating. Not to mention, these days it seems everybody wants to be a YouTube creator. Everybody wants to be on Twitch or Caffeine or Mixer. Well, put a rip in the chat for Mixer, but you know what I'm saying, man. Every other lobby you see TTV, you see YouTube, you know, the YT in their gamer tag or their PSN, whatever it may be. And it's just sweaty as fuck anyway. You want to go back to Black Ops 4 and there's no, like, real hardcore skill-based matchmaking. It's more of a lobby balancing algorithm. It's just sweaty as fuck anyway, though. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just a punishment. What is the point of having a game with this kind of matchmaking where there's no visible ranking. You don't know if you're getting better or getting worse, and you don't know what players you're playing against. And then not only that, your enemies are so keyed up trying to play well, they're camping their ass off, camping in the corner, sitting on that line of sight, man. Like I've said in my previous video, you got 3 KD players playing like a .5 player. Back in the day, you see a camper up in the lobby, up in the corner, you C4 his ass, or you jump shot him, and you move on after the teabag, you know what I mean? Now, you got some of the best players around doing the same shit, and they got good reaction time, they've got good aim, and it's just cheese, bro. Y'all know what I'm saying. You know it's frustrating as hell. I don't want to see it next year. I want to see skill-based matchmaking, excuse me. I want to see it in ranked play. I don't mind playing ranked play from time to time. I've done it. Especially if you got a couple homies with you. Yes, it's sweaty as fuck. You're probably going to go barely positive, but it's fun in its own right, especially because you know where you're ranked at. And other games have definitely followed suit, like Valorant is a good example. Rainbow Six Siege is another good example. It's something to strive for. You have nothing to strive for or to work for, in Modern Warfare 2019 without having a rank. It's just fucking stupid, but I digress. That's pretty much going to wrap up the commentary, guys. I worked harder in this one. If you made it this far, you're fucking awesome. I appreciate you, but I'll just see you on the next one. Take it easy.